Hey everybody, it's your girl. Yes, it's Alicia, and I'm back again with some encouragement. I hope you're enjoying the theme of this month, which we're talking about purpose, and I hope that you are able just to be thinking about your own purpose. Sometimes we get into a place where it's like, this is what I'm meant to do, this is all I'm meant to do, and I long to do this thing, right? You know how they do. You know how we do. But I wanted to challenge us today. Yep, I'm challenging us today to think outside of the box. I'm in the process of figuring out like what journey I want my kids to go when it comes to school. Yes, something that simple, but in my mind, it feels like an impossible task, because how do you know what's best for your kids, right? How do you know if private school is better or a daycare is better, because my kids are really small, or going to public school and starting a pre-K program? Like, I'm looking at all these different options. It's like to pay, not to pay, do 5 days out the week, do 4 days out the week, do 3 days out the week. Like, you guys, if you are in the United States, childcare alone is almost like the price of a kidney. And then trying to figure out which direction, because you want your kids to have education. And I'm learning that the expectation for before they get into kindergarten is that they know almost everything, that like their numbers, their colors, their shapes, and all these things before they even get into kindergarten. So it's like the pressure of having them prepared just to go into kindergarten is a lot. It's a lot. And I think when I first got started, I was like, this is what I want. I know I want this thing. I know I want them to go to like private school, and I want them to have like the best education possible. And I want them to be able to get that one-on-one focus and things like that. And then I think one season of my life, I was like, I want to homeschool them, because then I can make sure that they're getting the proper education, and then it's just me with them, and they can my dreams were big. God bless anybody who does homeschooling. God bless anybody who sends their kids to private school. God bless anybody who sends their kid to public school. In all three areas, I have no idea what would be best, right? I have no idea. The options are, there's so many options. And one thing can work for one kid versus the other. I have a son and I have a daughter, and my daughter wouldn't start pre-K because she's too young for the pre-K program. But my son would have to go to this, might have to go to this school. I like them both together. And this is my dilemma. There's so many choices, but I know they need to go to school, right? And I'm using this as an example because I think this is how we kind of get lost in figuring out our purpose. We spend countless hours thinking that, okay, I'm good at this one thing. So this one thing, I should work it into the ground. And after I work it into the ground, then I should arrive at my purpose. And if I'm in my purpose, this is what I should be doing for the rest of my life. And yes, this is the direction I need to go in. And then there's moments where what you've planned doesn't work out. There's moments where you actually don't have the resources or finances to go the direction you want to go in. Sometimes there's things that happen in life where you literally can't do it. Like, you've moved, so you can't go to your dream school. That was, I'm here in Georgia, and you can say you wanted to go to Clark Atlanta or Spelman or Morehouse in Atlanta, and you just couldn't afford the tuition. You couldn't get Pell Grant, couldn't get some of the benefits of being within a certain bracket. You have to pay out of pocket, and you just won't have enough to cover you finishing school. So you go to a tech school. Are you still in school? Yes, but it's not the way you envisioned it. And I want to explore that. I can even tell my story about that. Like, I went to school. I was in the top 3% of my high school. I was so excited. I had toured UGA, that's University of Georgia, that's here in Athens, Georgia. It is one of the biggest schools. Like, you'll want to go here. You want to go here or Georgia Tech or something like that. When I first got started, and I was like, I'm going. I fell in love with the school. I sent my information there, and they said that all I needed to do was send my transcripts, my official transcripts. Now, this is back in the day, this is in the early 2000s, and so I can be officially admitted and receive the benefits. Like, they were talking because of my because of my academic score, I would have got a full ride. So I was like, I did everything right. I'm so excited. Yes, this is what I want to do. Do y'all know that my guidance counselor never sent the information to the school? Do y'all know how hot I was when I found out that registration, we had missed the deadline to registration, and so I couldn't be admitted. And then my academic advisor did not let me know that I wasn't going to UGA until like a month, like in July. Normally college start in August, so I'm scrounging to go somewhere. Because what you're not going to do, not this straight A student, top of her class, what she wasn't going to do is be at the house. That's what she wasn't going to do. And I ended up going to the Fort Valley State University. And that first, now, back in the day, it's still out in the boonies, but for me, it was a drastic change. Like, but back then, they didn't have anything out there. It was country, and more country. And I was not accustomed to that. And I'm not a city girl. I'm a suburban girl. But I lost it. Like, I was like, my parents are dropping me off in a place that doesn't even have a Walmart. Like, that's how heartbroken I was. And I promise you, it was the best experience of my life. I had the most fun there. I met some of the best people there. I blossomed into this. I was confident before, but like the way I became myself, like I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about my culture. Being a military brat, it's more of a like being about the country and being proud of being an American, that type of vibe. But like stepping foot on that campus, it's like to be proud of, to be an African American, like it was a completely different experience. And I'm not gonna lie, I cried probably the first 3 months. And everybody's like, oh, you're just homesick. I wasn't homesick. I was in culture shock. I had never, and I don't mean this in a negative way. I just want to, the environment that I grew up in, I was used to an international group of people. Like, I had a friend who was Puerto Rican. I had a friend who was Hawaiian. I had a friend who was Korean. I had a friend who was Filipino. We were just all mixed together, because if it's military, when you go overseas, you're the Americans. They don't see us as like black, white, a different culture other than American. And so when we get together, we hung out together, we banded together. But this was a different experience where it was like, I didn't feel like I was, I'm gonna say it the way that I know, I didn't feel like I was black enough, because I was walking into spaces where people were saying things I had never heard before. And we had just came from Germany, if I'm to be honest. I spent a couple of years in Georgia, and even that was a little bit of a culture shock. But like, the people that I was surrounded by, like, they just felt so comfortable in their own skin. Whereas me, I was taught to kind of be outside of the Christian, I don't want to say it's the Christian faith, because it's not, but the way that they put the emphasis on women being small and being seen and not heard, and being minimalistic and being, quiet and just to be quiet to yourself, I think I became who I've always wanted to be, which is a loud, rambunctious. I mean, people say gaudy is a bad word. I absolutely love it because it's like, I want the glitz and the glam. I want the opulence. I want the bombastic, the loud, the boldness of everything. And it's like, I went there, y'all, I did everything that everyone told me that I couldn't do. I was leading in plays at my school. I was a model at the school. I was going on trips for free with the school, and it's because they were like educational programs. But like, I went with what department was it? Not broadcasting. I can't even think of what department that was. I'm so sorry, y'all. Mass comm department. Thank you. Mass communications. Now, I was a vet major, but all of my friends were mass communication majors. Do you know, I became so good with, shout out to Miss Ellis. She took care of a lot of us. She was like auntie, mama, like just to a lot of us students. She took really good care of us and exposed us to places and things that we probably wouldn't have been able to do on our own. Well, I traveled with them, and because I would be like her assistant on the trip, and then I would go, and then a friend of mine, he was like, yo, Alicia, you need to come. And so we went to New York, we went to Tennessee, we went to California, like we went everywhere. And it's like, it was me learning that there was more inside of me. There was more of me to experience. There was more things that I wanted to add to who I was as a person. And it's like the shadow of being a pastor's kid wasn't on me. The shadow of being the middle child wasn't on me, because that is a thing as well. The thing of being like a plus size girl wasn't a issue, because at my school they loved curves. They appreciated a woman with her natural hair. So going natural felt good. Like, I hate doing my hair, you guys. And I was, as they call it, the creamy crack, which is a relaxer for Black women's hair. And I would constantly do it myself. And then it's like, eventually I grew out my hair. I had an afro. And it's like, I just got to do and be who I wanted to be at that school. Now, I thought that my end result was for me to be at UGA, because that was a prestigious school. That was a school that I had heard of. Be honest with you, I hadn't really looked through the state of Georgia for colleges, because first being new to the state of Georgia, I didn't know what was out there. I had no idea that there were other HBCUs out there in Georgia, let alone what a HBCU was. And that's a historically Black college and university. If you don't know, now you know. And I take so much pride for being a student at this university. I take so much pride in mingling with the other universities of a HBCU, our community, and they really taught me how to be a strong-minded woman, Black woman in America, and be proud of my skin, be proud of my hair, be proud of who I am and my voice. And I'm not saying that I couldn't have done it at UGA, which is a PWI, which is considered a predominantly white school, predominantly white institution. That's the abbreviation for it, PWI. And I'll be honest with you, God knew what he was doing. You know, he knew what he was doing. There was no reason for my guidance counselor to miss my stuff. Because somebody else it could have happened to somebody else. I have no idea, if I'm really honest. But it shouldn't have happened to me. Not top 3% of her high school, like, no ma'am, no sir. And I had straight A's. Like, ain't no way. Why are you passing me up? And I won't say her name because I've forgiven her for it, but me and this guidance counselor, we was cool. Like, we was cool. I come, by her office and talked to her about what I wanted to do at UGA. Like she apologized to me because she knew how bad I wanted to go. But in the long run, like, I met my husband at Fort Valley State University. I became my best self, and I learned about ministry as well. Like I after leaving and going 7 years, like, no, I don't want nothing to do with church. A friend of mine at Fort Valley State, shout out to Tony, she's amazing. She was like, hey, come to church with me on Sunday. And that is what brought me back to the church. Now, I've told my story before where I had strippers and dancers in the back of my car, and I'm at a gas station, and the Lord calls me, and he said, you'll never do this again. And he's like, this will be the last day you do this. And I stopped, and I was like, okay, God, well, I'm going to listen to you. If you to wherever you tell me to go, I'll go. That was before me even stepping back into a church, because it's like, I didn't want to go. I most definitely didn't want to go. But after he saved me from being arrested and incarcerated, it was like, okay. I was like, well, nobody invites me to church. And because they all know I wouldn't go, I was like, if somebody invites me to go to church, I'll go. Tony was the first one to ask me. It was about a month and a half later, but she asked me, and I went, and I literally had the best encounter with God. I didn't know that God wanted me to be a part of his life. I didn't know he wanted to be a part of mine. I didn't know he wanted to be a part of my choices and decisions and direction and where I should go, and a part of the relationships that I'm having, and a part of my future, my present, and to renew my past. Like, I had no idea that God wanted to be that for me. I had always seen him as up in the sky. He's doing his thing, and occasionally he drops down from heaven to bless somebody. And for me, I felt like he wouldn't bless me because I felt so abandoned in my life. Well, of course, God don't care about me, so I'm going to just do what I want. I'm going to be as reckless as I want. Now, of course, I'm still a girl who does not like to get in trouble, so that wasn't going to happen. But for me to turn my back on God, because I was turning my back on the church at that time, he not only found me at the gas station, I gave him an impossible task. Because I told him, I was like, yeah, if somebody asks me, then I'll go. And nobody asked me because they all knew that I wouldn't go. And what's crazy is the young lady knew I wasn't trying to go, but that time they were doing like a revival or something. And Pastor Cheryl Brady came, and she ministered at the church. At the time, it was New Hope International. Now it's called Hope Church in Fort Valley, Georgia. It's here in Warner Robins area, but it's zoned for Fort Valley. And she preached. She didn't even really preach. The Spirit of God had moved in that house in a way that I had never experienced before. Like, she barely preached. She did lay hands on people. She did prophesy over people. And I mean, I was toe up. I had never seen that type of encounter yet. Like, I've seen people shouting in church. I've seen people blow on the microphone and then people fall out. Like, I had seen stuff like that. But like, for a prophet of God come to someone and speak into someone's life, and it wasn't me. They weren't even talking to me. I was watching her do that for other people, and I was like, oh my Lord. I was like, oh, you really want to be you want us to invite you in so that we can be an instrument of God. Like, that's crazy. And I'm not saying that she's perfect. I know some people feel some kind of way about mega churches and things like that. But I will say, people are people. Always. People are people. But there are some people where the anointing of God is upon their life. And when you have an encounter and you're in the space, now you can choose not to receive it, but it is very hard to be in an atmosphere that is cultivated for God's anointing to resonate on you, to just literally lay on your chest. Like, I remember She says some of you need to lay on the ground and release the pain that you've experienced. Y'all know I laid on that ground and I cried. I boo-hoo cried like like my 2-year-old. Like, she gets so upset when you tell her no. Like, just no. Just ain't like it. She's in the tantrum phase. Y'all pray for me. Y'all keep me lifted up. But I cried out unto God. Like, my eyes, I can't, like, the feeling of it was so warm, and it felt like this weighted blanket had wrapped around me, and it was pressing me into the ground. Now we're in the sanctuary, and I'm on carpet, but I'm laying down and I'm crying. And I think it was like all of the hurt, the pain, the frustration of ministry. I felt it leave my body. And I was like, by the time I got up, and I was like, God, if this is what you would have for me to do, if I say yes to you in this moment, will it be hard? And he was like, it will be challenging. There'll be some days you don't want to do it. He's like, but I'll walk with you every step of the way. You will never feel abandoned by me. And I think that is what for me, that was the thing. It's like everybody in some way has tossed me to the wind. Everybody in some way has put themselves first and wanted to do their thing and not help me or something like that, or not cheer for me or support me in some kind of way. And it's like, I remember it. I was like, God, you've been with me this entire time. Even when I said I didn't love you and I didn't want to be surrounded by your people, you still were with me. Because I remember when I had the car accident and I got out of it unscathed. I remember when I almost drowned and you were watching, like, and someone rescued me. They didn't even know I was in the water, but they came and rescued me. I remember when somebody had pulled a knife out on us, and that person ended up just stopping completely, dead halt, and just was like, you know the Lord. I ain't never heard nobody say nothing like, and this person wanted to hurt me and another young lady. And I'm like, and it's not that, it's like, well, for someone out there who's like, well, you know, if God is real, why would he let any of those things even happen to you? Why would he let these things happen? I was like, this is what I'll say to you. God is a respect. God will allow us to have free will. Because it's not that he let those things happen. I put myself in a place where those things could happen. Some of these things is because I wasn't being careful of myself. Like, he told me don't go, and I went anyway. And it's like, as a good parent do, they still show up at the party. The kids are drinking, and they're like, shut the party down, and everybody go home. This party's over, and they pick you up because why? On the other side, anything could have happened to their little girl. Some people don't make it out. Some people end up with a level of trauma that they struggle with on a daily basis. But it's like, God was like, nah, we're gonna stop right here. I done been in the midst of a shootout from the things that we were doing, all because somebody was very, very intoxicated with some type of narcotic that I had never even seen before. Like, when I say I was in places I should not have been. I should not have been there. And did I witness it? Yes. Did it impact me? Yes. Did some of it desensitize me? Absolutely. It took me a while to realize that, man, this is not normal. But I promise you, he was with me. He was with me. He was with me the entire time. He just wanted me to choose him. Every day wants me to choose him. He wants me to renew my yes every day. Because I might not feel like it today. I might not feel like it tomorrow. But he wants me to know that whether I say yes or no, he'll wait on me. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. And I feel like that's why when we are searching our purpose, we're wanting one answer, and we want it to be the answer for all things. And I don't think that for some of us that may be true. Because I don't know. Look, I'm being honest with you. I don't know. But I do believe that when you are flowing with God, like you're in this river with the Lord, and you feel like the waters are a little raging a little bit, and you're like, oh, I'm scared I'm gonna fall out, Jesus. He's like, I got you, don't worry about it, but go to the left. And you're looking through the left, you're like, man, there's rocks over there. He's like, go to the left. See, what you don't know is on the right side, and that side looks real peaceful, but there's a waterfall, and at the bottom there's jagged rocks. So I need you to listen to me. It's like, okay, God, I'm gonna go left. And you go left. And as soon as you pass those two big rocks, it's easy breezy. Still may still have some rushing waters, because life is not smooth like that. But he's still with you. And because of your yes and your obedience, you're flowing with him. And it takes you exactly where you need to go. And he's like, hey, daughter, in this season, I want you to do, for me, it was like, I want you to join this theater group that's on campus called JAP, the Joseph Atkins Players. And you're going to eventually be in this group, and you're going to eventually be the leader of this group and be the president. And then from being the president, you're going to motivate them to compete again, because they hadn't competed on a national level in a long time. And when you go, you're going to win y'all school is going to win every award and be in the top 3 for every single category. And because of you, the school's going to sponsor them to go every year, because this year y'all had to raise the money to go. And it's like, I didn't know that he was using me to do that. And I didn't know that me being in JAP at the time, even though that's a skill that I love theater. I'm a thespian at heart, and if you don't know, that's just an actor or actress. And I didn't know that same boldness, that same creativity was going to be used for what I'm doing right now. I feel like right back then, if you would have asked me and be like, Alicia, what's your purpose? I was like, my purpose is to be an actress. That's what I would have told you, because that's what I was doing. If after that you'd be like, hey, Alicia, what's your purpose? My purpose is to be a veterinarian technician, because I'm in school to do that. And it wasn't that at all. That's what I went to go do. It really was. That's what I went to go do. But it also led me to my husband. We had classes together. Yep, we had classes together, and I met him, and I got to see him, and okay, well, my purpose is to be a model for the modeling troupe, the Royal Elite Modeling Troupe on campus, and I'm gonna represent the plus size women. I'm gonna be confident in my own skin. I'm gonna let them know that it's okay, that we're out here and being bold and beautiful, and our bodies are beautiful, and I'm confident, and all these different things. And now I'm able to do it here on this level where I feel comfortable in my own skin. I know who I am. I know whose I am. And God created me. He created me to do these things. And this podcast right now, this podcast is my purpose. Now, if you would have asked Alicia back in 2004, I'd be like, no, I can't do this. Nah, that's not my thing. No, that's for somebody else. Even though I kind of liked it. I did. That's why I was hanging out with people in the mass comm department. All of them were on the radio. We had a campus radio station. I said, man, this looks so fun. They're like, Alicia, you want to do it? I'm like, no, I don't want to do that, because, nobody's going to want to hear me or listen to me. And it's like, man, you don't know. Here I am. Almost 20 years later. No, 20 years later. 21 years. And I'm doing it. This is what it looks like now. And everybody has a podcast. Who knows how far I would have gone if I would have started earlier. Who knows if I would have said yes sooner. And for once in a very long time, I know for a fact I am doing what God has asked me to do. I'm in my yes season. I'm in my purpose season. Like, even right now, as you know, planning this women's conference, Deliver Her conference. It's something that all of those different arenas where I was in charge of and I was the leader of, I know I can spearhead this conference. I know I can. I just need to, I'm like, okay, God, if I'm going to do this, I'm not going to do it in my own strength. I know better now. See, some of those other times when I was leading, I was doing it in my own strength, and I was about to break and fall and crumble and was crying. But not this time. I know better. This podcast, I'm not doing it in my own strength. I ask God every day, who should I reach out to do an interview with? God, give me the words to say when I do my own segment like this. I'm like, God, you tell me what to say to your sons and daughters, because somebody needs to be encouraged right now. And for someone who feels like they've been delayed because they made bad choices, I am guilty of that as well. I want you to know that God uses all of it for your good. But the guilt, the shame, even the fear, all those things is what's keeping you from moving forward. You have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive the people who may have made it harder for you to do the things that you're trying to do. You may even just have to, I hate to say it, but acknowledge that it was your fault. It was your fault. It was your fault. And it's okay that it's your fault. Either you knew better and you didn't do better, or you literally didn't know better. Either way, it's okay. That's the beauty of life. That is the beauty of God. Like, redemption. If you don't know anything about Jesus, it's all about redemption. Everything. Like, there's some things where, and I'm not trying to put nobody in a box. Like, if you do this or if you do that, and, there's no redemption, there's no way to get redemption from that, or to get saved from that. That's a lie. He died for every sin. He died for every sin. But what I will tell you is that some things are heavy. And so it can't just be I'm sorry sometimes to get over it. Sometimes you have to go to therapy. Sometimes you might have to seek some other type of help for mental health and take medication. Some of you might have to remove yourself from certain groups and friendships and relationships. Some of you may have to break up with that girl or that guy who you feel so tethered to. Some of you might even have to leave that church that you've been at for so long, but it's not good ground anymore. Yeah, we talk about them too. You're like, oh, I've been going here since I was a little girl. And it's like, but are you being fed? Are they helping you propel you to your purpose and destiny? Is what God telling you lining up for the next phase of what you're about to go into? And I'm a witness of this. So with my parents being pastors now, I think it was the moment where I was deciding not to come back home. And I felt like the Lord was telling me that this was my wilderness season and that I should not go straight back home. I should go this direction. It's that either go left or right. The right is, it's a waterfall right after, and I might not make it out. And then the other way is it's going to be a little rough, but it's going to smooth out. It's not the perfect, but it's going to lead me in the direction where I should go. This was my moment for me. This was my decision. My dad told me, he was like, just come home. And the Lord told me to stay. I knew if I would have stayed home, all I would have been is their daughter. I wouldn't have been Alicia. And I would have fallen into the same trap of being the A student that did everything that her parents told her to do, and from their standpoint, she couldn't think for herself. She couldn't do for herself. And living in the light of, not trying to, not trying to be seen or heard or be bold, or I would have diminished the light that I had on this world. Because when I was with my parents, I was invisible. Like, I was so invisible that when my older sister got married to at the time to her ex-husband, he nobody, they forgot, like, they did like a little family tree. They forgot me. And then they were like, oh, well, then just write her name on there. And then they wrote it incorrectly. I was like, now how I be here this whole time and y'all don't know how to spell my name by now? Like, I said, but it just shows how small I made myself in those spaces. How small I even probably thought I was in those spaces. Now I don't think that way. Now I'm a completely different person. I'm bold. I'm loud. And I enjoy my life, like something that one of my guests told me the last time we recorded. Shout outs to Noelle Andrews Walker. Y'all, if you haven't had a chance, go listen to hers. It's the most recent one for purpose and finding purpose in therapy. And when we wrapped up, I think she gave me one of the best compliments I had in a while. She just was like, Alicia, she was like, when I'm around you, I feel better. When I see you, I can't be in a bad mood. She was like, we had just did Easter around here. We do, it's not Coachella, but it's Eggchella, and they got like Easter egg hunts and all the fun things for the kids and stuff like that. But I was healing from my surgery, and she told me that when they were out there, she said that when they were out there, she looked around and was like, where's Alicia? And she told me, she was like, they were talking about me for about 30 minutes. And she was like, we knew you weren't there. And I was like, I think for a long time, the enemy where he gets me at is because I've struggled with abandonment and neglect a lot. That this thought of if I was gone, nobody would miss me. I know it's not true, but of all the things, the mind tricks that he plays with me, that's the biggest one. And it's hard to trying to be vulnerable, and I'm trying to let you hear my heart. It's hard to stay on task for purpose when you feel like nobody sees you in your purpose. And you can get distracted, and you can feel small, and you can feel little, and you can feel like, God, what am I doing all of this for? Why am I taking this turbulent road just to get to my purpose, to be in my purpose, and nobody sees it? And I promise you, I felt the most reward in doing this podcast and a lot of other things. Because if I'm honest, I don't do this for anybody. I don't know who's listening. The ones who are listening, they tell me they're listening. The ones who are not listening, they're not listening. And I don't know anything about them not listening. But every week, I have been consistent, and I'm putting this together, and I feel the move of God on it, and I feel like God is with me, and I feel like he's proud of me, and that he loves me, and that he cares about me in this moment, and that he's happy for me as well. And in the midst of everything, I think all that God has been trying to show me is that he really just wants me. He doesn't want me to be a mom. He doesn't want me to be a daughter. He doesn't want me to be a wife. He doesn't want me to be anything for, even for my church, like with all the titles and all the things, and we're thinking that our purpose is wrapped up in these titles as well. It's like, I just want to spend time with you. So me being in my purpose is me spending time with God right now. All of this is me spending time with God. It's just me sharing it. That's all this is. It's me sharing what I'm and y'all are seeing my prayer closet. Y'all are seeing my worship closet. Y'all are seeing my one-on-one time with him. Y'all are seeing these moments and glimpses of me seeking God and spending time with him in a way where he's like, yeah, that's my daughter. I hear her. Yeah, I see you, Alicia. Yeah, I'm putting this thing together for you. Yeah, I got this person and this person ready to support you in this situation, because he's lining me up for all the things that I'm supposed to be doing. And everybody who's listening, you're just along for the ride. So I want to encourage you that the purpose is not just the destination. It's the process. It's the journey. Your purpose is something that might always change. You might be gifted in this one area. There's nothing wrong. That's your gifts. That's your talents. You may be gifted in that one area. Like, I have the gift of prophecy. I do. And when the Lord is upon me and he's allowing me to speak into other people's lives, that's when it manifests. That's when it's being used. And then when his anointing is not on it, I'm not doing it. Like, it's really just that simple. But there's more for me to do. I'm meant to do more. Like when they tell the parable of 10 talents, 5 talents, and 1 talent, and that's money. Like, the person with the 1 buried theirs, but the 5 and the 10, they multiplied theirs. I believe that the reason why they were able to multiply, even though it was money, and technically you'll look at it as an investment, they took what they had and they used it. Because the only way you can get, like, if you have money, if you understand investing, if you have money, you have to use it and invest it somewhere else so that it can multiply. That's how that works. But if it's in the ground, it'll always be 1. So if you put it in the ground, it'll always be 5. Like, hey, this is my purpose. I'm going to put it right here. And until this turns into a doctorate degree, then that's all I'm going to do. If this doesn't turn into a book deal, then that's all I'm going to do. Like, and then for the ones who have hit their mark, they say that this is what I was called to do. This is my purpose. This thing right here. How long can you do it for? For some people, they can get joy in doing the same task every day, all day. But if you're like me, I get to a place where I'm like, whew, I need something else. My husband would tell me that I'm never satisfied. And I when he said that the first time, I was offended, I was like, what? Yeah, that's not me. But he was absolutely right. He was absolutely right. And I think it's because I was going from goal to goal to goal to goal to goal to goal. Like, I was trying to hit these marks because someone had told me that for me to have the best life, I had to hit these specific things. And then when I hit those specific things, I still was hungry. But that's because I didn't include God in my plans. That's because they were plans created by my parents or by somebody else. They were plans that just sound good because that's what I'm supposed to do. But I never once was like, or at the time, I didn't feel like I had permission to ask God, like, God, what would you have me to do in this season? What would you have me to do in this time? And then walk that out. And then see that harvest come to fruition. And then after that harvest is grown, take the seeds from that and give it to someone else. So let me encourage you. Let me encourage you in this moment. I know I've talked about a lot of different aspects of purpose, but if you're at a crossroads and you're like, God, this is the one that I planned for. This is the route that I said I wanted to commit to. That this is the way that I know that I'm comfortable with. And God is asking you to go in a different direction. I challenge you. I challenge you in this season of your life. Take the risk. Take the choice. Let's go in the direction, in the path not traveled. Because you might be the one to be a world changer. You might be the one to flip certain things upside down. Your story is meant to be told. Your journey is yours, and it's meant to be a part of this world. Now, there's some people who are supposed to do exactly what they are skilled to do, and then that's it. And those people, I applaud you. Keep doing it. Keep going. If this is what God would have you to do, don't change it up. You stay on the path of where you're at. But for some of those who are like, I thought this is what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm here or I'm on my way and I'm feeling God pulling me into a different direction, this is what I would tell you. Lean into God. Lean into the direction He would tell you to go into. Let Him be the one to guide you in that situation. Because if I haven't learned anything about my wilderness season, as lonely as it can be and as tiresome as it can be, God, I promise you, will uproot every dead thing that's in your life so that when you do get to your purpose, you actually can sustain it. It won't crush you. It won't put you in a place where you're about to lose your mind. He won't put you in a place where you're like, God, this is too heavy for me. No, because see, all this journey to get here, that was your proving stage. Yeah. It's just like a diamond. Like a diamond's not a diamond until it's cold, it's pressured into a new thing. And even when you become the stone of a diamond, you're not even considered valuable yet until He cuts away things. See, we like to say, oh, God, make me, I want to be a diamond. I want to be valuable. It's like, yeah, but it comes with a season of cutting away. That's what that feels like. You're like, oh, I didn't know I need to uproot these daddy issues or these mommy issues or this fear or this lying tongue that I have or my pettiness, like whatever it is. If you're there, He will cut it away so you can be your best, whole, most valuable self. That's my encouragement for you guys. Of course, keep me in prayer as I'm putting this conference together, Deliver Her Conference. I'm still at the place where I'm figuring out where the location's going to be. I have a bid for 3 different locations now. Last time I think I talked about this, it was 2 different locations, but I'm trying to be obedient and be a good steward of the people who have sponsored, who are partnered with me. If you would like to be a sponsor, there is a link below and you can sow anything towards it. I just want to be able to bless the women in this community to be able to come for free. That's what I'm hoping to do. But depending on how much money I raise between now and the end of June, the end of May, until the end of May, I may have to do ticket prices, but we'll see. Y'all help me. If your company, your business, your job are looking for opportunities to sow into women's lives, this would be a good event for that. Y'all, the panelist is stacked. That was the easiest thing to fill. I think the last time I talked to you, I had one of my speakers confirmed, and the other 2 we're just, I guess, in the negotiation stage as well. So I'm very proud of myself. I am asking all the right questions. I'm in the process of building my team, and I'm very proud of that as well, because normally I do that last, and I'm like, oh yeah, well, I'll get a team together, and I'm asking people at the last minute. Now I have people involved in it, and I'm giving them roles and assignments. This while PK has grown, okay? I have grown, because normally I try to do everything by myself, but I want to say thank you in advance if you do decide to partner with me and sow into this. And I can't wait to see what we do together. And for all of my family who are logged in and they listen to this, I want to make it, the goal is to also record the sessions that we do so that you can listen to them at a later date, because y'all are my Wild PK family, podcast family, and I want to make sure that y'all get all the gold, all the diamonds, all the emeralds that are going to be dropped that weekend. And I want y'all to be encouraged. We may do something very special for you guys as well. And keep me lifted up in prayer. God is doing amazing things, and this won't be the last. So as I like to say and close out, keep going, keep being wild for God, and keep doing wild things for the Lord. And if nothing else, I'll catch you next time. Bye.